Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with Anet. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with Anet. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with Anet.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Anet, where your host, Anet Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Anet? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey, great afternoon, guys. Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Anet. I'm your girl, your host, Anet Harris, and I am thanking you so much for coming in and joining us. I am the CEO of Get Caught in the Net Incorporated, your certified mental health ambassador and two-time award-winning author of that bestseller, Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. Come on in. You know, it is Wednesday. It's a little bit after 12, but it's still time for you to come in and get caught in the net. I'm so excited on today because I'm going to feature three beautiful women of God. But before I get started, Lord, we thank you for all things. We thank you for what you've done, what you're going to do, how you're blessing and helping, instructing, directing us, oh God. And this is all for your glory. Get the glory out of this segment and everything we go to say and do in Jesus' name. And the opening part of Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, I'm excited to be here with you on this afternoon and to feature another group of authors. Got to say that I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I'm going to bring them in and talk to them. But before I do that, I want to tell you that you can listen to us live on my Facebook page, Anet Get Caught in the Net. We're also live on Instagram, Get Caught in the Net, my YouTube channel, Get Caught in the Net. You shouldn't be able to miss us at all. And at the end of this segment, what we're going to do is to ask Earl Winfrey over at Intellectual Radio to upload this to their YouTube channel. And I promise you, again, you won't be disappointed on today. Listen, I see some that are jumping in, we're tagging, and I do want to encourage you to go ahead and tag individuals, throw up the hearts, the love, the care button, if you would not mind. What you're doing is pushing this out and you're reminding individuals that we're on. So whether they're able to listen to it live right now, they can always come back and listen to the recorded segment. So without further ado, let me add them to the stage. They're in the virtual, they're waiting. They're so beautiful. Y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Two of the young ladies, I'm telling you, I just really met by last month. But you all know, you should already know, Pastor Angela. That's my girl. That's my girl. My intellectual radio girl, my girl on social media. She is here. Let's start it off with you, Pastor Angela. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
So I'm blessed. I don't know how many mothers we get out there. Happy belated Mother's Day. Thank you for inviting.
Okay, okay. Thank you. And yes, we did have Mother's Day on this past Sunday. And to those that it applies, we wish or pray that you had a wonderful day. And it's not just one day, right?
You got
Mother's
that
Day is every day.
every day.
Like
Every day.
okay, I didn't, added a little bit on to that. Let's jump to the top. Ebony, how are you doing on this afternoon?
I am wonderful on this Wednesday. How about you, Miss Annette?
I am wonderful, just wonderful. I'm telling you, I'm trying to set up my TikTok viewers. I didn't mention that we are live over there, but TikTok viewers want to see these beautiful women of God, and they will see you. It's good to have you here, Jennifer
Absolutely.
Houston. Look, I was about to say Jennifer Hudson. I don't know why I was going to do that. That was because I saw her show earlier today.
Yes. How are you, ladies? And Ned, how are you?
I am wonderful. It is so good to have you guys here with me on this afternoon. I don't take it for granted that you have consented to join me. And so that we could talk about this wonderful project that you all have pinned, should I say. Listen, I was placing within my promotional video and also on the flyer as well that you don't know my story. That statement is a consensus, not only between you three, because there are other authors, if I'm not mistaken, within this wonderful, wonderful book. But it does talk about your journey. It does tell and relate to your lives. And with Pastor Angela being the visionary author of this, I want to jump right into this. Gone Girl, right? Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Gone Girl.
Volume 2. You don't know my story. Get the premise of the book, and
those two words. There's so many meanings. There's a lot of meanings behind that one phrase. Gone Girl. Okay.
Gone Girl.
Yes, we can have our little flair to Gone Girl. But this is wonderful, Pastor Angela. I'm gonna start off with you. My dear, I don't only want to talk about the fact that you're the visionary author, but of course, we want to jump into talking about your portion that you contributed. You have so much, I don't know how long we've been friends, but you have gone through so much, my dear, in your life, in the time that I've known you. Okay. So, with this particular, how did we come about with this particular vision for this book?
You know what? Now, believe it or not, we wrote the first book in May. And first of all, thank you so much again. We wrote the first book. God started a group, Gone Girl, with myself and 3 other women here at American Airlines, as a matter of fact. Melissa and also Latanya. And then we were joined by Latanya Reeder and my cousin, Girl. But then God says, take it further. There's going to be some women, Angela, who are going to lose setting. I need you to have them to write. They have art in their heart. Let them tell their own story. So we actually start off with the first book, which is Gone Girl, 31-day volume, Gone Girl, 31-day mass of devotional. And I wrote with 23 women, 23 women, and I wrote, and 2 of them passed away while we were writing. One wrote about the cancer, and the Lord took her home, and the other one passed away of COVID. Nevertheless, then we write that book. We released it May 10th of 2022, just after my husband left in November of 2021. Already wrote the chapter, right? Wouldn't you believe God had me to write in the first book I wrote first? Say you can't, say you can't eat. Now I want y'all to follow me just a little. I'm gonna hand the mic back. The second book he tells me to write, Gone Girl, Volume 2, You Don't Know My Story. The premise of the book, because I'm not going through nothing, but God tells me, Angela, you can't write until last. It makes sense to me, Annette, because every story, I wanted the women to tell their own story. Somebody, because remember, think about this. We were getting hit with everybody writing a book. Everybody. Holy Spirit spoke to me. I can't sleep when I don't do what he do. I don't know about anybody else. He says, the women that are write. And you can read the stories. You'll see. I'm not telling nobody's story. The women need to write. If they don't write, some of them are going to have instabilities mentally. Let them write. Share with them how to write. And the Lord let me write the last chapter. All the other stories lead to the last chapter. I survived. So it was important. Other women wrote, these women particularly on the stage today, because to tell their stories their God way. I couldn't do it.
Wow. Wow.
Anybody who knows me and then knows this is the person I am. I am not satisfied with me. Can I tell you something? I'm packing mean punch. I've grown through some stuff. But have you ever about people when you know they going through? I knew Jennifer was growing through some stuff, but she never stopped growing, because some of us, our makeup is, this is my story. This is my story, but I got to get up while other folk are depending on me.
Oh, see. Listen, let me say something real quick. You just said you knew that Jennifer was growing through some stuff. I like that. You know, because it's like that to me gives hope. You're going through.
Come on.
But you're growing.
Come on. That's the premise. And that, can I throw this back in there one more time and I'm going to shut up? That's the premise of the book. The book is Gone Girl Volume 2. You don't know my story. The premise of the book is I don't look like what I've grown through. Because we know the cliche is I don't look like what I'm going through. Well, you come on, right. And you're going, right? But to me, if you're really going, you're growing. Yeah. So go on and grow.
I love it. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. Yes. So, okay. And so we're going to come back and wrap around a little bit more to your portion. Okay. But thank you for giving us that background and that insight. Because you were all right. You said something when you mentioned about, sometimes people are like, oh, everybody's writing a book or whatever, or, don't really want to hop in on that. I'm telling you, before I wrote my book, so many people, why don't you write a book? I'm like, no, and I said the same thing. Yeah, but my thought was whatever God would have me to do and in his timing. So it had to sit right in my spirit. And it seems as if the things were lining up, for you to get these women together to be able to write. And
they weren't all easy, Anet.
I believe it.
Neither book. And honestly, after writing the first book, I said I wasn't doing this anymore. But watch this. I don't own Angela. Right. So much for sitting on your show, you and I, my girls and I'm telling you, sitting here now that I see, I don't show you everything. He only shows you the A and the Z. He don't show you the middle, right? I'm telling you, now that I've done it, is in this. This book is in Palestine already. This book is all over the globe already. So I know God told us to do it.
Come on now. Yes. Amen. Yes. I love it. Absolutely love it. You guys that are joining us or who have just joined us, we're here talking with three beautiful women of God, three contributing authors of the book, Gone Girl. And as you can see, I have the visionary author, Pastor Angela Smith. I have Jennifer Houston and also Ebony Stigall with me on this afternoon. And I'm telling you, do not go, you may have tuned in. Don't you turn it off now. Don't you touch that dial. I know I'm aging myself. But anyway, don't turn it off, but make sure you go ahead and you can tag individuals directly into this live feed so that they can, and I see many people are doing that, so that they can hear about their story. You don't know my story. And of course, you always think of that song and all the things that I've been through. Woo! Come on now.
Don't make me go there. I'm
Angela can sing now. Don't you get her started now, because she'll sing. But I love it. But it's so true. You don't know. And I always say you never know exactly what an individual is going through until or if they share it with you. And so you all have been blessed to be able to share with us in writing the things that you've dealt with and what God wants us to get out of what you've gone through, because your journey is not for you alone. Okay, author Ebony, come on and talk to us about talk to us about what your portion is. We have you here with Walking Through the Storm with Grace. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Yes. I'm excited to share it now, but like you all previously said, you don't know it unless I share it with you. And so I think for me, people don't think I'm going through something or think I've been through something because I am always put together. I always have my face done, or I always look nice. Like, that is me. You're not going to catch me out. Even if you try like catch me in the camera or a quick picture, I'll always turn around and give it to you real quick, because that's just who I am. And I'm okay with that. But I felt like when Pastor Angela asked me to write this time, I knew that God had told me to share the story that I wrote about in this book before. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for people to know about my storms. Like, I wasn't ready for people to know about being raped or and walking through that and what it looked like, or even like ending back up in a relationship that I previously, ended, and then wind up having a son who then became fatherless. Like, those are the things that you don't like to tell the details about. But what I hope that someone gets from this is how to not give up on God, how to stay connected, how to hold your head up, how to cry and then keep going, because we have to feel our emotions. We have to go through them, but we still got to keep going because someone else needs you. Someone needs your story. Someone needs to know how to move forward, and someone needs to know how to do it without being nasty, without being negative, without lashing out. And my pastor says this all the time. You may have a right to that response, but how does that serve you? How is that going to help you as you're walking through your story, lashing out or telling what someone did to you and being, real nasty about it? How is that going to help you?
Right.
It's not. And even there have been times when, I've done that. I've responded in a negative way. And when it was all said and done, because some people say, just say it, you'll feel better, or, be you and blah, blah. But it doesn't feel any better. It feels no better. You don't get nowhere from it. In fact, you feel worse because you're out of character. Yep. You're being someone else. And so for me, writing this story is reminding someone, be who God called you to be. Walk the way God called you to walk. And if you don't know what that is, then sit with him and learn, get back to the root of who you are, because we're all made differently for a reason. And so I can only walk through my storm with grace. That's the only way I can do it.
I love it. Beautiful explanation. Beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. You're able to bring us in. Each of you are able to bring us into it, so we can understand it better. And I think that's so important, just going through life, because sometimes we feel we're alone. We're going through this all by ourselves. Ain't nobody else dealing with this. They can't be, and that's just not true all the time. It may not be the exact situation, but similar where they can relate to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, Jennifer don't know. She and I, when I read a little piece of hers, she don't know how much she and I connected. She don't know. But let me ask you, Jennifer, just as Ebony just mentioned about how she did not want to tell her story at first, was it like that for you? And talk to us about your portion, pouring from an empty cup.
So it wasn't like that, because I normally share it as I go through different situations, because I know in this world somebody has to be going through what I'm going through, right? And so I'm not quick to share personal things
But when I find someone who's struggling and going through, and I know I made it through, then I'll open up and share to give them hope, to give them courage, to give them, a way of escape, which is through Jesus Christ. And so sharing it in the book, it almost made it seem like I ended the chapter and I don't have to keep repeating certain things, right? So it brought closure. I think when I wrote it down, I sealed it, and so I'm excited because it took the burdens off my back. I didn't think I was carrying them, but when you start thinking about your past and things that you have gone through and how you've tried over and over again, and then you say, well, wait, maybe God's ready for me to go to the next level. And this book is like closure to all of the different things that took place. And then now I'm ready for my own book and even to collaborate with the ladies again, because it's so much more to the story. And I remember my husband said, you'll never be able to put it all in a book. What God has brought us through and what we've experienced in these 27 years. And so I just thank God. I really do, because there's a new couple out there that's newly, married. I shared my experience in the beginning. I hope and pray that helps them get through whatever they're going through. And so I thank God for the opportunity, but I do encourage people, don't go through alone, because, there's somebody else that's out there going through it with you. And I think you really can help someone once you've, made it across that line. Yes.
Wow.
That's great.
Okay. Wait, you said 27 years?
Yes.
Will it be 28 this year?
Yes.
Girl, we were married in the same year.
96, right?
Huh?
96.
I was in 97.
Okay, yes, I'm 96.
96?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was 95.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was 95.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. You're 95? We always was 95?
I was married for 27 years when I pressed the button.
Okay. When you press,
Yes.
press the button. Okay. All right. All right. She pressed the button, y'all. Y'all, you follow her. Grab what she's saying now.
Yes.
Now,
Because if I had can I throw, Annette, do you mind if I throw in that had my way? If I had my way, I would still be married to the same man.
Okay.
Circumstances. Now, those people that know me, my heart.
Yeah.
Jennifer knows me. Ebony knows me by the Spirit. I would have never done a man. I would have still been married. I enjoyed marriage. I love marriage. I believe in the institution.
Yeah.
I believe in the God bill. That's why He's gonna let me do it again.
Yeah.
While I'm
Yes,
still
he
young.
is.
Yes.
And everything works. Come on here. All things work. And if you need a scripture, I got one for you. All things work for good.
Together.
And work together. Did you?
I know that's right. Yeah, I remember my late pastor used to say, we were young, when I was younger, rather. He said, don't be telling God to take that away from you now, because you're going to need it when it.
Do you? What is it about that that's the most silly stuff. I tell young women, go sit yourself down and tell the Lord, keep me to be kept.
Thank you. Go sit in some cold water.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's.
And I had to correct something. 1998 is when I got married. 1998.
Okay.
Yeah, 1998. Yeah.
I know it was a
Pushing y'all
couple
up a whole year. Okay, the whole 2 years.
Yeah. It's, we still like each other, so it's exciting. You forget the time.
What? I get it. Your husband must have been in the background, probably told you that, huh?
No. I thought about it. It came back.
But you know what? I believe that's part of. I believe that how we are chatting about this book, about this call it project, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's so important that women go back to chatting, go back to honoring and assisting each other, go back to being considerate, because at the end of the day, something said, and one of the things I could say without a shadow of any doubt is everything Jennifer stands on, she means every single word. Meaning, I was privy to be a wife, and Jennifer wasn't a wife yet. And Jennifer was an exceptional single woman. She stood on her business, but she was a businesswoman. Watch this. And then she grabbed Roderick and told him, if we're gonna be dating, I'm telling you right now, we gotta honor the men and women that's married already. That kid, they will come and get our children and give us a break as husbands and wives. Do you hear me? I know a lot of single folk who say they love the Lord, want to learn the thing, but you never sitting at nobody's feet. She was just that. And then Roderick, and to this day, they love. I don't have to worry about if I needed to give a grandkid to Roderick and Jennifer, they don't have natural children right now. I don't have to worry about that kid. Now she may get that baby some Similac without the water, but the baby gonna be all right. I had to throw that in there. Y'all, I had to throw that in there. Come on here. But it's very important that we be considerate. It's very important that if I'm really gonna know your story really is that sometimes you feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My story really is, I look like I get all together. I'm like Ebony. I always keep it together. I'm gonna go in that bathroom after the girl curl my hair. In about 5 days, I'm going in there, bump it till I can get back to the beauty shop. You don't know my story. I look like it's all good because I am a strong woman. But you know what? A lot of people don't know, but this strong woman I had this 1 second where I was like, you know what, God? Why am I here?
Right.
He gets to hurt. Now, and then when you get told that you played the victim, because let me tell some woman this about this book. Part of knowing your story is, and part of you sharing your story with others is that you don't bow down, you don't break, you don't bend, and you do not allow anyone because of your pain come in and tell you all, because you know how they do. And then I'm trying to finish a sentence, start a sentence. It's easy for sometimes people when they're divorcing you or in relationship with you and it doesn't go well, they're good at, you don't never talk about what you did.
Yeah.
My friend, I'm here.
Right.
My friend, not only am I talking about what I did, I'm here to rectify, but you don't want to get this thing right. So, Annette, for all the people, nosy folk who want to know, I asked God, is he going with me to my next? And the Lord said, unfortunately, no.
Right.
He will bail out. It wasn't the will of God, but he will bail out. So I think it's important that women and men know, because I wanted to make sure it was said in heaven. I honor husbands and wives.
Yes.
I love them and I love marriage and I look forward to doing it. I also look forward to dating. Anyway. That's my story.
Look, it's pretty much she's throwing like a little plug out. So y'all no, real quick. No, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, because again, this is your story. And individuals need to know that. And I know, as you were talking, I'm thinking of, individuals that I know that are going through separation and divorce now, so, it doesn't make you a failure.
Come on, that part. Say that again, and then somebody needs to hear that.
It does not make you a failure.
It does.
I was thinking of, some people who are very dear to me, who are, like I said, who are going through, the situation like this. But God has blessed you, even through this. I mentioned this the other month when we were on a different show about how when you went through, you didn't show that you were going through. I didn't even know about the divorce until later. It's not like you went and blessed, because everybody, sometimes they blast stuff so much and, putting all their business out there and everything. And it wasn't that, I don't think it was because you were trying to be shamed. That's just not you. And this is just Anet talking. That's just not you to go ahead.
And it's part of the hurt. It's part. I think Ebony was the one who said, nobody knew that her son would be without a dad now. I think the reason why we don't always share initially too is because, come on, let's be honest, with our saved, born again, spirit-filled, will preach a crooked stick straight self. I was hurting. Yeah. I really was hoping against hope that this would just be a bad nightmare. honestly.
And
So
you
I
have
don't
just
want to.
and you just said that's not what you wanted. So it's not like it's something that you wanted to happen. My late pastor used to say sometimes, and he said it's about jobs. He said, you be at a job for so long, but God is trying to get you somewhere else, but you'll keep standing. He'll let you get fired, or something like that. That could happen. I see Ebony.
That just happened to me.
That happened to you? Is that what you said? See,
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. And then being able to have these conversations, as Pastor Angela was saying, and even have that connection with women. Somebody on here was agreeing with you. Who was that? Rhonda. And we appreciate you for coming in. I think she's watching
Thanks,
on YouTube.
Rhonda.
Say, yes,
Oh, that's my
women
sister-in-law.
need women. And I totally agree with that. We have to stop this crabs in the barrel bucket spirit or whatever, and thinking that I'm all this and you just this. No, we cannot do that. You never know what your sister is going through.
Don't know.
um
Never.
I had to drop off. I'm over our bereavement committee chairperson at my church. I had to drop off a resolution yesterday to the home of one of my our church members whose brother had just died just like that. So I had to go drop off the resolution. And my intention, my mindset, Pastor Angela, Ebony, and Jennifer, was just to drop this off. So we got to talking, and she opened the door because I was going to leave it in the mailbox. And so she got to talking when I was at the door. And now all of a sudden she said, come on in. Now my windows were still rolled down in my car. And I'm like, I know I got to get out here. But I said to myself, Annette, go in here.
Go
Yep.
in.
Sit
Go
down.
in.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, she sat and she talked and talked and talked. She needed to release that.
She
Women,
needed.
women, just like
That's
that.
part of your story.
Yeah, exactly. You
That's
never know.
part
And she
of
was
our
telling me
story.
some stuff. And sometimes that talking, that's why I advocate therapy too. Sometimes that talking will help them to get beyond a certain stretch or over a certain.
And that, you know what also is that what I love is these two women that and not that I don't choose to go on stages with other women. That has nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
These two women, we were already like intertwined, right? But I'm learning their stories.
Yeah.
I've been knowing Jennifer forever. Jennifer is family, but Ebony is my family too now. But I'm learning their stories, and I'm learning how we really do connect on so many levels, because you do know the world is still immature. The world is still immature, and they're still saying women cannot combine. Women cannot gel. The devil is a whole lie. You know how I know
Yeah,
a lie?
that's not true.
There's nothing Jennifer could call me and ask me to come and be a part of. I'm not going. There's nothing Ebony could call me and be a part of. I'm not going. They realize though, right? Come on. Part of our story is we are a many thing to a many people.
Yes.
And so I
Absolutely.
can't go everywhere. I can't be everywhere, right? But what I can do, Miss Johnson used to say this. I was saying this through the first book. I can't do everything, but I can do something. That I can do, I will do. I live by that. But our stories are so jailed. I'm telling you, I'm going back. I said it before. It makes sense to me now that God will write. He will put Ebony's story in first, put Jennifer's story in, put some other stories in, and then make my story. I said, God, why do I have to go last? He said, because after you've gone through all of what they'll read, come on here. And I mean, they're going to read some stuff. Because when I read their stories. When I read Ebony's story and Jennifer's story, I'm like, and it almost makes you feel like, and that, who I need to roll on? I know that didn't happen. And why y'all didn't call me? You know,
right?
But it led me to know all of us. I could stand in Jennifer's story. Come on here. I can stand in Ebony's story. And then you know what they get to do? Finally, they get to stand in my story too. Because I'm alive.
And you
survived.
Exactly.
Yes, you did. Wow.
You know, all I hear that we are helpers one to another.
We're helpers one to another. Yes.
That's what I hear. And our stories are helpers one to another.
Yes.
I see you on Terrence Hazard Sr. says great
That's
dialogue.
my pastor.
Hey, Pastor Terrence Hazard. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. Melissa Walls.
That's one of the founders of Gone Girl.
Okay. I see
She's an author.
She went,
Listen.
okay, wonderful. Thanks for
Yes.
coming in. She's
Yes.
greeting us. She's greeting us. So thank you all for coming in. I think I saw, did I mention Marilyn Ross? Thanks for coming
That's
in.
my mother.
Hi,
Hey,
Mom.
Millie. Hey, Mama.
Thanks for coming in. You know, I steal folks' family members. I don't know if y'all know that.
Absolutely.
Does she
I
make
share her.
cake? Does she make
She
cake?
has so many daughters. I've been sharing her all my life. So listen, absolutely.
Okay, and Luke Davis Jr. says, good morning, ladies.
Oh, hey, look, that's my friend from LA, the coach. Hey.
Well, thank you, friend from LA, because you know what? Even though we talk about women needing women, and this book is, full of women authors, we still need those men.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
we
We
do.
need our brothers.
We need them to hear. We need them to read it. We need them for support.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I wish I could get Luke to write a book, him and a couple of more brothers.
See,
I do.
It won't happen. You put that out. If you put it out,
yes.
it won't
Can
happen.
I share this? I remember when we got the final of the book, and Pastor Andrew was like, okay, everybody read through it and make sure that you check everything, make sure everything's good. And I started reading my chapter, and I was just crying, and I could not. And so I was sitting in bed with my husband, and I was like, babe, I need you to read this. And it was late, and my husband gets up at like 4:30 in the morning. The alarm started going off, and it was like 10:30. Almost 11, and he read that chapter, and I said, babe, you can stop reading, like, finish it in the morning. And he was like, no. He read the entire thing that night, and he was like, this is good. And he was like, no, I didn't see anything, like, it was good. And I was just sitting there crying, like, and I was so thankful that he took the time to read it through, because I couldn't do it. Like, I just
and
couldn't.
He was a male.
Yes, my husband took the time to read it through for me that night, so I could text Pastor Angela and say, hey, she
touched my soul. My uncles, when we did the book signing, and that I had decided, remember, I was turning 60. I was going to have this big old party right out, and I decided I did not want to have no party. The Holy Spirit said, this project is much bigger than you all think. And so for the book signing, when the book signing took place March 8th, I never even realized the place was packed. Jennifer and them signing books all day, just sign. I didn't know. And then my brother laid this spread, and that'll make you, hey, her husband, Ebony's husband, thank God for men, brothers like him. Like, she can't ask us to do nothing for this brother. We will be right there. That brother never sat down. But what I thought was really, really amazing, my uncles, y'all, 80 years old. My dad, my mom came in from Georgia, came in from Detroit. And my uncle, when I got to a funeral, I had to officiate my cousin on 2-3 weeks ago in Detroit. He brings this young lady. I took a video. Brings a young lady, one of my little cousins, opens up to Ebony's story. And she's so articulate. And she's reading Ebony's story. And I videoed her. And to let Ebony know, this is what this book is doing. My uncle is 80 years old, Mike. He said, I just want you to know, we got some things going on in Detroit. We want you to come and bring all your books. We're going to sell your books. Because he said, I done made it through. I'm in the fifth chapter. I mean, that's, y'all, like.
I love it.
What I'm going to do, it's our story. But here's what I knew was going to happen. I knew that if we stood in our authentic selves. I'm not like Jennifer, but I am Jennifer. I'm not like an Ebony, but I am Ebony. I'm not like an Anet, all calm and cool, chill, but I am Anet, right? But sometimes you need a Peter in your group. Yeah. That'll look at Jesus after they cut that ear out for you and say, put that ear back on for me. Yeah. Okay. So I've worked around and been around other stuff, but at the end of the day, I realized you have to be special to me to do what I did twice, to executive publish twice. You got to do special. Let me give a shout out to Chocolate Chipping Company, our publisher. I call her my real niece because her mom and I are best friends. Chocolate Chipping Company, Sheridan S. Davis. She wasn't playing. She wrote Church Girls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It lets you know she's educated, which means that some words got spelled. Most words got spelled correct. If you want to talk about publishing, come and hang out with us three as well. And we'll talk to you about that as well. But I think it's so important that people don't forget your story and stop getting upset because people get tired of hearing it. It's your story. It's
You
not
gotta
theirs.
tell it. You gotta
It's your
tell it.
vision. It's
You
not
gotta
theirs.
tell it.
And so no, don't get mad about that. Keep telling your story. Last but not least, let me also say, don't allow other people to dictate how you process your pain.
Right.
Because I'm not like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I got right on back up and went on and did what God told me to do. But that's because y'all didn't know I cried at night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't have to
You
cry.
have to own up to your feelings.
Well,
You
come on.
definitely
And
own
you
up
don't have to let everybody know you going through. The devil trips on stuff like that. The
Mhm.
devil will make you do some vulnerable things off of that. No, go on, cry at night and talk to God. Because I told
That's
God,
right.
I said, I'll never preach again. I'll never speak well of marriage again. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. And he put me in a deep sleep like he did brother Adam.
Adam.
Me in the choke
right.
on and say, okay, then you can't work for me. And I say,
Yeah.
okay, God, I'll do it. My best preaching is right now. Go ahead. I'm yielding the mic.
Let me read this comment. Candy Lawless says, I love what I've heard so far. We do appreciate you for coming in and wish
Hey,
you could
Candy.
stay longer to hear more, but she's heading into a meeting.
Yes.
Women can and do connect, worship, motivate, and stand together.
Yes, we do.
That's my childhood friend,
Drop the mic
Candy.
on that one, Candy. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
And Marilyn Ross says, my story helps other women. That's right.
Yes.
Got out of what you said, and I totally agree. Come on, Jennifer, talk to me a little bit more. I want to ask you, because as you're, collaborating, writing the book, I'm not sure what experience you had in writing your portion rather, and then when the book came out, what was your experience?
So I collaborated with another group of fabulous women and wrote another book together. And so the experience with them was different with the experience with Gone Girl. And it has just made it so much easier because they laid the foundation. And so I knew what to expect. And then when I got on this side, it was just like meeting more new women. I feel like they're all my sisters, and I had never met them other than us giggling and hee and ha and on Zoom and having our meetings. And it was just so funny because my husband walked past the background one day and he's like, hey, is that Ebony? I know Ebony. And it's so funny because I'm in Atlanta and they're all in Chicago. And I think it's one other person that's in another state. And so just to be able to connect, and I'm not even in Chicago anymore, it was just like a big old reunion when we got together.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
so, writing was easier because I had already set the foundation in the other book. And then I came to this book to talk about pouring from an empty cup. And then now I know what I have to write next, and I know what book I need that God showed me to write on my own. So I'm excited. I am so excited. Yeah.
So the other group writing was before Gone Girl.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
exactly.
It was during the pandemic. And so that was a tough time. So talk about empty cup. My cup was zero ounces. And so I remember one part of that going through the pandemic is when my husband, I'm a top producing commercial and residential broker, and I had slipped into depression because of, everything, losing, during the pandemic, over 200 and plus family members and friends and clients during the pandemic. And it was just every weekend, a funeral, but it was online. And I said, I just couldn't take anymore. So I would come home and hide in a dark room. My husband kicked that door open. He said, you are anointed to sell real estate. Get up and let's go. And he gave me a book to listen, told me don't come out of that room until I finish that book. And I wish I had the name of it right now, but she was blind and she was sharing her story. And the main thing that I got out of that book, she said, now go talk to your mom if she's still living and ask her, is it something that you need to know? And what my mom shared with me, ladies, it's the way that I got my deliverance with what took place in her life that affected my life. And I held on to that. And that's going to have to be released in my book. And
that's so good. Oh,
yes. And so
that was a good segue there. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
perfect.
Yes, to be continued. And so my friend who has a organization of over 30,000 or 60,000 women in her group. I Am Beautiful, the movement. Tashana, she called me one day. She said, listen, you're gonna come up out of that room and you're gonna write in this book. I waited till the last minute. I said, nope, I'm not writing, because my cup was so empty because I was pouring into everybody else. And then I finally pressed my way, got that chapter done, and it felt good when my mom shared some things with me that I know that I can hold on to. And it kind of put the puzzle together, when you're thinking, why am I going through this all the time? Why is it with this person and this person? And then when she shared it with me, I said, oh, okay, devil, you didn't want me here, but my mom said not so. And so I thank God. I really do. I thank God for her sharing that with me.
Oh, that's
Wow.
amazing.
So you were finding out some things, even about yourself. Wow,
Yes.
by going and talking to your mom. And
Yes.
isn't it just amazing how God just takes things and just start putting them together, and he
I'm telling you.
a big old puzzle.
Working it out.
Oh my goodness. God is so
Like,
Working
why
it
didn't you
out.
tell me that in second grade? I probably wouldn't have received it like now. You know what I'm saying? Because of all what I went through. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God knows.
Yeah.
That's
He
why I
knows.
love me some Jesus. I'm telling
Yes.
y'all, I
I'm
do. I
telling you.
do.
Yes.
Yes.
Jay Cher Harris is on. He
Yes,
says, "Come on here,
Jackie. That's one of
Jennifer.
my friends.
Hey, one of your friends." She says you are definitely anointed. I love it. I love it. And girl, the way I think I just got chills when you said that your husband busted in that room and said, you anointed, my dear.
Yes.
Again, we just talked about needing those men, right?
Yes.
Whether it's
Absolutely.
your spouse, your brother, or father, or whoever, it is good to have that support, because they're, in our homes, they're supposed to be the head, right?
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
you look to them, and then, God knew what to tell him to tell
Yes.
you.
And
I love
that
that.
I will share this too. Coming out of pandemic and knowing that I needed to get my cup back full, God said, okay, now I got your attention. I want you to create a t-shirt line. I want you to take that and run with it. And it's on the shirts, it says fixed fight it's a fixed fight with Jesus Christ. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And
Sit
every
it
time
in.
I wear that shirt and that, I get to witness to a young person, because I'm at the grocery store one day and I'm wearing my shirt, and this young gentleman, he said, well, what's fixed about it? Who is Jesus Christ? I said, listen, can you get off the clock? I don't want to get you in trouble. Let's talk about him. I was in Miami in an Uber, and the young man said, I love your shirt. Oh, I love the Lord. I'm asking my mom to teach me about Jesus, but she's so religious. I said, oh, we getting ready to ride around Fort Lauderdale in Miami. We talked. I told him he's my new nephew. So something as simple as making a shirt, putting that scripture on it, has been a witnessing tool for me, and it just does me well. And it seems like it's always at the grocery store. So I just thank God. I really
Right.
do, for being obedient.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
You
awesome.
ladies are so inspiring. I don't know if you know that. You're very inspiring.
You are too, Annette.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm listening to you all. I'm giving y'all flowers, okay? I
Yes.
as I'm
Thank you.
listening to you, and it's like you can glean. That's why I can't say enough. Go back to your comment, Pastor Angela. Women need women, and
Yeah.
that's so. If we don't get anything else across today, we need to get that across. And to know that we can. Come on, y'all, we can make it. We can do this.
Yes.
And
Yes,
and
we
and,
can.
and everything and Ebony and Jennifer will, because the other thing I love about, and I keep giving them their flowers. Other thing I love about these two women, and not that the others are not doing the same, but these two women are business women. They're
Yeah.
business gurus. They have gifts down on the inside of them that I don't even believe the world really knows about yet, because
Yeah,
they're
I just heard about this T-shirt
so
stuff. I
to
just
me,
thought she was real estate.
you know what I'm saying? So for me, the Gone Girl Project, you don't know my story, really is about us learning more about each other, us learning about what do you have, what do I have. Ebony and I went back to Ebony. I had been doing one thing, right? And I'm saying it this way because I have to. I've been doing one thing with the Gone Girls, but I'm like, Ebony is right here in my group. Ebony loves us. We love Ebony. I'm getting ready to get these coins to Ebony. And I don't care how much she charges me, because at the end of the day, I'm not looking for no freebies. But watch this. But we can barter if we need to barter. That's
Yes.
the other thing. Because I know your story, you know mine. we earn the right to work for free.
Beautiful.
Yes.
See,
But we don't,
But
but I
that-
don't necessarily have to go there, because at the end of the day, I love my sisters, my business sisters so much. I'm going to promote them. I'm going to shout them out, but I'm also, whatever they charge is what they charge. I don't need a discount. I'm
Right.
not that girl. That's why
Right.
folk love me. I'm not that girl. I don't need your discount. What I
Right.
need is, I need you to give me what you promised, so I can run and go talk about it.
go on, girl.
And if I get about 10 or 20, I know you're going to give me something for free. Get on it. You don't know my story.
Ebony, come on, you want to say something? I want to
I
hear.
was gonna say, what's crazy about that though, we'll go back to the comment when you said God will lay you off of a job that you've been on for so long so that you can do something else. Well, that's what kind of happened to me. I got laid off February 28th from my job. And I had actually literally probably a month before I got laid off, like I asked my husband, I said, babe, can I quit? Because this job, it was giving me the blues. Like I had two leaders back to back that were just not good. And I was just like, I want to quit. And he was like, yeah, quit. Like, because he was probably tired of hearing me talk about it and coming home and working really late and not being able to do the things that I really, wanted to do with my own outside time. But I heard Holy Spirit say, no, don't quit. And we have 7 a.m. prayer with my church. And I prayed a couple times about, situations through it that, I'd learned from and what God was teaching me. And when that happened, I literally was like, God was like, okay, listen, now you have this book, you have your financial clients, you have your non-for-profit, and so many more things are now coming from me not having that full-time job. All of, like you guys said, the gifts that are on the inside that God really wants to come out, but they're being stifled because feel like you're supposed to do one thing, or you won't let go, or you won't turn around. Then God says, all right, well, I'm gonna snatch you up out that thing. Listen, snatch me out, and I got, severance and all the other things. So had I walked away, I wouldn't have, I would have forfeited the package. But that's the good thing about God. When you do it, when you listen and do what he tells you to do, there's a package, there's a setup. The path that he has for you is so amazing. And even in telling this story, like I think I was the last one to turn in my final, because I started writing and was like, I'm not telling these people
I didn't
this.
think you were going to give it to me. I didn't, but I was going to come to your house.
I
I'll come
wrote
to your
the
house,
first,
baby.
couple of pages, and I sent it in, and Pastor Angela texted me. She was like, oh my gosh, this is good. You went through this? Oh, we gotta have lunch. And I was like, I'm not telling nobody else. Like, oh, we stop it. I can't tell. I could not tell it. I was so like, but she sent me up. She said, you haven't sent me your pages, but you have to write this. I'm not gonna finish this without you. You gotta get it in. And I talked to her. I said, God, are you serious? And he was like, yes, you have to finish. She's right. Finish. And I wrote and I cried and I wrote and I cried and I finally sent it in. And I am so glad that I did. Like, so glad. Even I afterwards, I told my oldest son, because it talks a lot about him. I said, son, I need you to read this, before it comes out, because, I'm sharing a lot about you. So, I sent it to all my kids, but I said, just in particular, I really need you to read this. And he said, Mom, I didn't remember those things, but as you were talking about them, I could vividly see them. Like, this was good. You really wrote, like, this is amazing. He was like, and I'm like, he made me just feel proud to be his mom, that I could walk this thing out and do it for him, because he became my main focus when I felt like the world had turned on me. Like, even in the moments I would ask God, like, why me? Why does this have to be my story? Like, I have a father. My dad is there. Like, why does this have to be my story? But I learned so much through Jahai being my son. I grew up in ways I didn't know I needed to grow up. I became a better person because of him. And my dad then stepping up to be a father for him. And then God sending me my husband. Like, it was amazing. And so You gotta share. And I'm not afraid. Like, I share personally. Like, if I'm talking to somebody and something comes up, I don't mind telling you one-on-one. But just being on a platform of now everybody being able to read your story over and over again, like just seeing the, especially people that that sometimes you go, do I want them to know? But you know what? Yes, I do. I do.
Yep.
I want them to know.
That's right.
I want them to know. And
That's right.
I want them to know in a way where it's not the back and forth. It's not all the things. Just hear my story. It'll all align. It'll all make sense. You'll understand why I move the way I move. And it may help you move a different way as well.
Amen.
I love it. Listen. Jeremiah 29:11. Thank you, Rhonda, for preaching on my broadcast here. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." That's
Jesus.
Come on.
Yes.
That will definitely summarize up what we have heard on this day. And I just appreciate you ladies so much for coming in, for sharing, for talking to. Of course, it's never enough time, but hopefully we were able to get little bits and pieces in that'll draw people in to this book. Where can we find this book? Where can we find it?
God. You can find the book on any of our social media platforms. Yes, the book is in Amazon and all that good stuff, but we don't want y'all to get them coins to Amazon. We need you all to go to Jennifer Houston right there on Facebook. We need you to go to Ebony Stigall right there on Facebook. Or we need you to go to Angela L. Johnson. I'm Angela Smith again, but Angela L. Johnson on Facebook. Or you can email us at Gone Girls with an S, GONEGIRLS 89@gmail.com and get the book that way as well. But you can get the book from either one of us, either one of the authors, of course, but definitely try your best to get it from us because we're going to sign it. Some of us are encouraging you. I put an encouraging word, I believe, of knowledge in every single book that I send out.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. I do that too. And they laughed at me at my book signing. They said, "You're writing a book while you're signing the book." You just kind of typically, that's just what's come out of you. So again, the email is gonegirls89. Is that correct?
89@gmail.com.
Okay. All right, guys, email them, or as she stated, you can go to their Facebook pages, their social media accounts. For Ebony Stigall, Jennifer Houston, on social media, she's Angela L. Johnson, even though she's Angela L. Smith, but you'll find her under Johnson for now. Okay, so watch it now. Watch it while you feel something. All right, so there it is, gonegirls89@gmail.com. That's where you can email to get your personalized copy of the book. Okay. And let's see, Melissa Wall says this book is truly fascinating, but I wish we were all on here to tell our story. Well, honey, come on, we can get you where you one of the contributing authors.
Yes, she is.
I pulled them, and just so the other authors, if they're watching, will know, I reached out to these three only because we were on a totally different platform.
Absolutely.
And so I just asked them to come on here because these are the ones that I knew. But if there are other authors that are contributing, there's no slight to you. We can definitely have you on. Have no issue with that at all. If you want to connect through Pastor Angela and to connect with me, that is no problem at all. I know, like I started off saying, I've been knowing Pastor Angela for a long time. So she's my connect to all of you.
Yes.
All right. And let's see. Pastor Angela said on here, "I don't look like what I've grown through." Yes. I love it. I love it. I appreciate, again, each of you for taking the time out on today of your schedules to come in and share with us and to talk about your story and to tell us that we can go, girl, in our own situations, in our own circumstances. We can do this. We are conquerors. We are more than conquerors. We are the head and not the tail. We're above and not beneath. Come on now.
Yeah.
I get in, I do my my affirmations in the morning. I say, hello, beautiful. I talk to myself.
Yes.
And that's what we need to do,
Absolutely.
encourage ourselves, encourage each other in the Lord. So you guys, again, make sure you go to email them, go to their Facebook pages, get the book, get the book, get the book. Go on, girl. Get that book.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So thank you all again. I appreciate it. And we'll connect with the other authors as well as soon as we can.
We can make that happen.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't want anybody to feel slighted because we already said women need women. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Use my platform to push out what you have.
Yes, you are.
Thank
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. You're so welcome. You all have a wonderful day with your beautiful.
Thank you. I'm getting ready to go to work.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
I love y'all. I love y'all.
You.
Love
I
you
do.
too.
I do. Okay. All right. You all take care. As
Okay.
they're exiting, guys, I just want to appreciate all of you for joining me on today, for your input, for your comments. And I want to thank you in advance for going to purchase their book. Go on, girl. Come on now. All right. You don't know my story, and we all have a story to tell. So thank you for joining me on today. Next week, what I will probably do is re-air this live stream, and then we'll come back at the end of the month to talk with Dr. Shirley Hill again of Health and Wellness for our Health and Wellness segment. She's of Mo Faith Nutritional Services. So thank you all again for joining me on today. Thank you for your input daily when I do my SASH Talk discussions, just encouraging you. SASH Talk, of course, is the acronym for my book, Surviving the Silenced Heartbeat. And it's just another platform just to encourage us with our mental health and whatever it is we're going through. All right. So we'll see you next time, so that you can get caught in a net.
Get caught in a net with Anet.